And we got a 3, a 2, a 1.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Fortnightly Frontier with me, Myre, and over there on the left-hand side is Mr. Darjanator. Today we're going to be talking about all things Star Citizen as always, but this time around the topic is Armistice zones.
That is correct.
Yep.
There have been quite a few leaks from the latest PTU patch, like data mine leaks, popping up on the Reddits and on the Spectrums.
So before we continue and go any further, we have warning. We are about to be talking about things that may be spoilers, and so if you're not into spoiler territory, you have been warned 3 times now.
Well, all right then.
Just to make that clear for anybody who who thinks that this is a safe zone at the moment. No.
This is not a safe space. No, definitely not. So there have been a couple of leaks. There's some that are very interesting in regards to what's potentially being potentially coming at CitizenCon. Some guerrilla marketing, so to speak. But there's another one that's been data mined, and that is particularly what was it? 2 new fines. One for brandishing a weapon and unlawful discharge.
Right.
Which to me sounds more like something that would get you on the sex offenders registry, but okay. But yes. That means, I'm guessing, we're both guessing here. Everybody's guessing. That means that you will be able to unholster your weapon in places that you shouldn't.
Right, yeah, exactly. I feel like it's more along the lines of Skyrim or Oblivion, where you can walk around town with a weapon drawn, but the guards will say, "Hey, you should put that thing away," depending on your reputation with them. And then if you do something with it, then you get into trouble. It sounds as if, depending on the zone you're in, different things will happen to you, as it currently already does. You know, maybe Hurston might have a 0 tolerance to having a weapon drawn, whereas it's only discharged somewhere else. Maybe others will ramp up. So, if a guard sees you with a gun and and they filed that complaint, you have to pay the fine. But who knows? I mean, right now it's all speculation. But yeah, it was found in the data mine 3.71 files.
That's not to say that this is coming in 3.7.1 because it's not in the PTU. There's still fully functioning Armistice zones as we know in 8.
Right.
But when you arrive with a mantis in an Armistice zone, it also pops up a message. Green zone, quantum something device offline or something like that.
Right.
It says green zone.
Right.
Not an Armistice zone.
So they've already changed the way that I guess we now refer to these things called Armistice zones to green zones now, which I guess makes sense. Armistice was a bit of a mouthful. But yeah, so you can already not use your quantum interdiction devices in green zones.
I know specifically. I know Grim Hex because that's the only one I noticed where that popped up.
But I mean, so it does seem like depending on the device, you might still be locked out of using certain weapons and items, such as, for instance, the quantum interdiction device, because didn't the dev say before that it was because it's made by RSI and they have these checks and balances in place in the item itself?
I guess,
which makes more sense than a ballistic pistol not working in said places.
Yeah, that's true. That's very much true. Yeah. Or if you just want to bring out a knife and shank somebody, you should be able to do that. There shouldn't be a magical field that somehow prohibits you from doing that.
That's right. Yeah.
or another type of melee attack, because you are. We do have melee attack right now, don't we? You can hit somebody with the butt or the
Yeah.
of the weapon. So what do you think that's once that's in? How do you think that's going to change player behavior first and foremost?
Well, I don't know, honestly,
Mm.
because people always praise this current player base as being mature and all that stuff, but we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, it's one of those things. CIG mentioned before, right? That because the game is currently in alpha, they're willing to do things that may not necessarily stick, that might break the game. You remember the great cat buggies of ArcCorp and that hellscape.
Oh, I do. It was a dark time.
Yeah.
Loosely spotted with light because everything was on fire.
Exactly. So I feel like if they're going to do something with the Armistice zones and the way they work, or to make them green zones and make it so that it's optional to follow the lore, they have to make it so that if you're a criminal, getting back into society and getting back into doing all those things, even just being an Olisar, is going to be very, very much more difficult because otherwise, yeah.
I'm guessing the starting zones like Port Olisar will be far more strict in their enforcement.
Yeah.
Like even somebody, something I think was also data mined is different melee attacks, like some even boxing.
Oh yeah.
We saw a preview of that a couple of Inside Star Citizens ago. Of animations for punching. So even without a weapon, even with a knife or a gun, you would be able to inflict damage upon someone. So I'm guessing that's gonna be a thing that you'll have to watch out for at Port All-Star specifically, because there's gonna be full of noobs and full of people trying to take advantage of noobs. And you can just remember, we played PUBG a lot, how punchy the lobbies are.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we have like armed guards stationed in the right place, or even just like an armed turret that can deal with people being goofballs fast. And I can see it working this way. There are already like a bunch of dark corners and stuff within Port Olisar, which may or may not have, like full surveillance. So there might still be places you have to be worried about in Port Olisar, and you would know not to go there in the first place.
The dark alleys of Port Olisar.
The mean streets. Or the mean niches, at least anyway.
Niche, nooks and crannies. Well, like the main rooms, like upstairs lounge area, or the restroom access, or the downstairs a subterminal room. That's going to be pretty much safe, I guess.
So I mean, if we don't get like full on like draconian NPCs with rifles at every corner in Port Olisar, which would be naff,
like we do in Lorville.
Lorville makes sense because of Lorville. Port Olisar wouldn't make sense. Automated turrets that like deploy and then shoot people who are being dickbags, that works for me.
What I'd love to see is stun turrets.
Okay.
Not deadly force, but if you get out of line, using deadly force just seems way out of line on the other side.
Yeah.
So maybe just have like tranquilizer or even something shocking to just to incapacitate.
Think of the janitors, man.
Nerdy goods.
Think of the poor janitors. If like we had like turrets just like spraying people across the walls.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But, so you punch somebody, you get knocked out, and then you wake up
in jail.
Okay. Yeah.
Depending on your crime stat, maybe in a brig.
Or a brig, or if it's your first time offense, back in your hab, under house arrest.
I mean, if we were talking about like realism, if somebody was to just uppercut a dude, even if it was their first offense, they're not just gonna walk away. After like a minute of house arrest, they're gonna go to jail.
Yeah, but how do you do that? Because just spending time there until your punishment is up seems like very.
You mean spending time in jail in general?
No, but just yeah, I guess spending time in general, looking at a countdown timer, just waiting for that to roll down until you're released again. That seems it's not very gameplay friendly. I mean, we've talked about this before, but I don't think we ever came up with a good solution to fight that.
Like in real life, I suppose, jail. I mean, jail is jail.
It is, and it's supposed to be a deterrent.
But for a lot of people, it's not. So I imagine there will be some gameplay loops within prison that will cause a lot of recidivism of the citizen group or something. Like people going back to jail. But I mean, at the same time, though, Darj, I feel like if jail is a terrible experience, it will make people not want to be caught, which might not necessarily mean that they'll not do crime. It would just mean that they won't do crime in stupid places. So I think that the ends will serve. It would be good. End of the day.
Also, if I were to run a jail, the motto emblazoned everywhere would be play stupid games, win stupid prizes, or however it goes. I think I got it right,
Yeah.
Right, so but you do have a point, like you brought up before, that the Star Citizen community is slightly more mature one. You don't get the nudists like you do in other MMOs. You don't get the bunny hoppers. But I guess that's because there are, checks and balances. You really can't go nude into space, and you can't really bunny hop because then you collapse into an exhausted piece of flesh.
True. Funnily enough, we don't see like nudists and streakers even in Hurston, though, even though they can.
Yeah. But I guess that's why
don't they?
That comes with the territory of the game looking so good, so people want to show off more than just their abs. They want to show off the either the horribly color mismatched outfit they're wearing, or the beautifully matched outfit they are wearing. Speaking of the two of us, I think you know full well, if you've been following us, which category either of us fits in.
I have the most beautiful characters. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Your ketchup and mustard combinations.
I haven't done that for a while. Okay, all right, that was a phase. All right, like any true art form, it evolves and.
It was It's not a phase. It's who I am. I'm a condiment, Mom. Yeah. It's either a sign of maturity, or it's a sign that either intentionally or unintentionally they are producing systems where people are behaving more than they should. Or not that they should, but more than other MMOs.
Yeah, I mean, but they're giving people the option to be bad in the first place. If we compare this to like World of Warcraft, for instance, you are not able to you have factions first of all, and so you can't hurt the other guy in your faction, and you do most of the things to the people in your faction. But
so there's no friendly fire.
There is no friendly fire in World of Warcraft now.
Oh, all right. So already we have more freedom in that regard.
Yeah. But because of that, we also need much more policing as well. There are games and MMOs out there that have done the whole you are allowed to do whatever you want to do, but be prepared for the consequences. And they all have their own like weird ways of making them work. None of which I think have done them in a great way, because they all make it so that being an outlaw is a bad thing, or being an outlaw will be a detriment to your experience completely.
An outlaw or a criminal?
I mean, like, what's the difference?
Okay, a criminal is hunted by the police and is also or the authorities, and is protected by the authorities until they receive a fair trial.
Okay.
An outlaw None of that.
Okay.
Wanted dead or alive.
Right.
Whatever the public wants, it's fine by everybody. That's what an outlaw is. They are outside the protection of the law.
Right. I mean, in a video game, I feel like they're more or less the same. In games that have had that system before, like for instance, Mortal Online, like I don't think it ever like flourished, but it was essentially like Skyrim, but a multiplayer game before like the Elder Scrolls Online. And with that, you could do things like kill players like outside cities and stuff. And if you did that, and people knew it was you and that kind of thing, they could then like put you through trial and hang you, or like the guards could kill you if like enough people had witnessed it. I don't think any of that really works great for. I mean, with Star Citizen, you want to be able to be an upright citizen, but I feel like there also has to be things that you can and can't do as as somebody who is an outlaw or a criminal. You know, like.
Well, we have that. You know,
I just don't want it to be that you can do something like, you know, like outright kill a player, which is a terrible thing, or like just be a pirate and steal from them, and then get repercussions for it that are anti-fun, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Because right now it's either you're an upstanding citizen or you have everybody hunting you down and killing you.
Yeah.
But I guess that is more fun than getting arrested and spending time in jail.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like one thing that they could do is, and this is something that's coming, I believe Pyro is supposed to be one of those systems that are kind of outside the law, and so is Nyx, because that's where Levski is, and like Levski is also outside UEE. But I feel like one thing that they could most likely do is that if you become so far out of the law, so far into the red, if like, you know, we have this like red and blue sort of like, what do you call it? Like, reputation standing, where blue is like you're upstanding, you know, you have like neutral and red. If you're so far in the red, then maybe like just don't go to those places anymore. Maybe now you have access to other places you couldn't have before in, say, pirate zones and stuff instead.
Yeah.
Where where those people who would maybe kill on sight blue players are now friendly with you, or at least, you know, too scared of you to try and kill you.
And they would also have their own rules that they would want their own people to abide by, like not killing and stealing from other pirates of the same faction.
Right.
So it's this sort of criminality thing is basically just, you know, just whose rules do you play by?
Right.
There's never anything like 100% right. You know, even if you're a paladin in D&D, there's still stuff you can do that's, you know, that's okay with your alignment, that other people will say, no, dude, that's fucked up.
Now it really depends on your alignment though as a paladin, right? Because of course, if you are a lawful good paladin, then there are even more constraints. But however, there are different sorts of paladin for every single alignment choice, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But here's a thought. Would applying a sort of variant of the D&D alignment system to Star Citizen, would that kind of make sense?
I don't think it would, because the way the alignment system is explained in D&D, this is a massive digression
Tangent.
Tangent. But like the alignment, the way alignment works in D&D, there is good and there is evil. Good is good, evil is evil. But once you start adding more factions, then that becomes very gray, because like a lawful good person is in it for, you know, for the good of the realm, right? Whereas somebody who is evil, like demons and stuff, are always going to be in the evil territory, and there is really no middle ground between them. Anything neutral is
Then again, like I said, that's only playing by their rules. Like anything a demon or a devil, you know, two different things in D&D, does against the material realm or the celestials, that is correct from their point of view.
Is good in their point of view.
No, well, yeah, because, you know, the alignment chart is done from the material plane, and you know, that's a point of view. But you know,
in Star Citizen, there is no other plane but what we have, and so we can't do it from that point of view.
Yeah. So the point of view is from UEE, and that is good.
Okay.
And everyone who is against UEE, that's bad.
That works.
Yeah. But, you know, if you are an upstanding member of Levski, you go against the UEE. But still, you have good people there. It's just they are, from their point of view, it's all skewed around.
They'd be lawful neutral either or lawful evil in the eyes of the UEE. We had this discussion with Paul actually for the Expanse tabletop RPG, and where the OPA would stand, in the eyes of the of Earth and Mars and stuff, because again, it becomes very gray once you add the perspective of everybody involved, as opposed to just like one perspective and where they fall between that. Vivi in chat says Eve Online springs to mind. That was back when we were talking about Law and Punishment. I don't think either of us have played Eve, have we?
I played Eve a long time ago, and I have no idea how it's changed since. Like a long time ago. That was oh jeez. I mean, I even stopped pouring beer. It's like, I don't know, 12 years ago or something like that. Yeah, it's like 12 years ago.
Oh,
I rage quit because of my own stupidity, and I lost the ship I worked my ass off for. But yeah, and I really don't remember much. I think it was that back still in the day where when you got destroyed, you spawned in as an egg. And you had to fly that egg back to
the hatchery
or
egg
something.
Space.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind
the nest.
Yeah, if you don't mind like elaborating, Vivi, we'll get back to you, man. But sorry for missing that. That was a bit earlier in the conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So just going back to the original point, just being at Port Olisar. How many people do you think are just gonna misclick or press the wrong button and punch somebody by accident and then suddenly become the most wanted person in the verse?
You just punched the general. Do you know what you've done? The way that the game is set right now, it takes more than 1 or even 2 clicks to be able to arm yourself. I mean, like, there is no like melee mode right now, but I imagine it's gonna be more than just pressing left click. You're gonna have to go into stance first and then go.
Yeah, sure. But that is something that I need to do. An emote, just / fight me, and that or just fight.
Yeah.
And that in chat types fight me with the fight me emote, and your character puts up their dukes, and when you click, you start punching.
I don't remember every single emote that came out with, I wouldn't even call it the leaks, but with that Datamine patch. But there were some really cool emotes in there for all sorts of situations that they're putting in. Like, how, I love this actually. You know how the comm system breaks all the time right now?
Yeah.
There's an emote coming for my comms don't work.
Nice.
I think that's awesome. So
that is great. That's since they have the emote system running flawlessly, I guess it's easy for them to add that. And I suppose if they keep it, that would mean it would serve a function to tell people that your comms aren't running if your helmet's damaged, maybe?
That, and also right now it works many ways because obviously we're in alpha and it breaks a lot, but come down the line, they can still keep it simply because you may not have a microphone and somebody talking to you, you'd be like, I don't have a microphone, dude.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, like we're streamers. We have good webcams, we have good microphones, so we are equipped to deal with such a situation. Yes, exactly. But yes, not everybody has a webcam or a microphone in the verse who would want to use either VoIP or FOIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That it kind of makes sense. Yeah. But yes, I see Vivi has pasted a wall of text, so I will let you.
The criminal system and enforcement didn't really change during the Eve's lifetime, and it worked. Your criminal rating was known as a security status, if I remember correctly, from say 10 to 9 to 10 to minus 9.9.
1.0 to minus 9.9.
Thank you. Say 1.0 to minus 9.9. The most negative, the more negative your status, the more authorities would chase you out of lawful zones. Negative 9.9 would essentially see the really bad pirates restricted to the lawless areas in space, or nullsec. They wouldn't be able to travel to the main trading hubs and would have to seek out other haulers, etc. to get them items. What made it effective was that the concord, that the NPC authorities were very quick at taking action on offenders. So if a criminal came into the system, the authorities would immediately, within 30 seconds, set on chasing the criminal down. That's awesome, and I think that's exactly what's happening in Star Citizen.
Right. I guess. But I think you were also fully aware of your criminality rank, which
you are right now in Star Citizen 2, though.
That is true, yeah. But I think the whole 5-star thing is very GTA-esque, and it's kind of breaking the immersion. It's very simplified, but I think it's like this stepping stone toward in the right direction.
Yeah.
Something, yeah. What Eve. Sorry.
You're okay?
I just burped. That's fine. However, like I said before, it is only standing with the UEE. Like someone who's against the UEE. If you are very negatively rated with the UEE, your rating might as well go up with an opposing faction. And vice versa, which is why, when you're a criminal, you would not get attacked by other criminals, and when you are lawful, you would not get attacked by the UEE or any of these security branches. Not just having that as a linear thing, but more like a two-dimensional thing that approaches, other factions on the grid.
Yeah.
That would make sense, yes.
On the topic of I guess NPC patrols and stuff for people as well, they've mentioned that that's coming, and in fact, to a degree, it exists at the moment. Although I'm not 100% sure if those NPCs actually travel. That being said, just before this podcast, I got interdicted by some UEE. I ran away further away towards Selin, so like maybe 40,000 kilometers further away, and then I waited a bit. While I was waiting for Darj and the rest of our crew, I got attacked by not only a bounty hunter, just some random NPC bounty hunter, and then like 3 different UEE people then just like quantum travel to our location. So maybe, I don't know if it was the same people who stopped me earlier or if that was linked in any way, but patrols appear to be in. Whether or not it was the same NPCs and they actually traveled, or it's just like a different group that spawned, is another thing though.
It's possible that they're just spawning in next to loiterers. I know that OM points get patrols.
We weren't
randomly.
at an OM point though.
That is true. We were not.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it's 3.7.1. It's a bit different. Things change. That might be one of the new things to look forward to. Getting hunted down if you're a criminal.
Yeah, interesting. But a more personal question. How do you think a lack of an Armistice zone is going to affect the way you play?
I don't think it will. I'm not one of those people that, pad ram. I'm not one of those people that, hunt people down and that kind of thing. I think at the very most, what it could do is, let's say I have a player bounty. Let's say I have a sanctioned player bounty. So it's in the general tab and not the personal tab. I'd shoot a guy in the head. Why not? I'd be allowed to, wouldn't I? If it's a sanctioned bounty.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works though.
You just gotta make sure that you are still in the factions who sanction the action. Try saying that 3 times in a row. In their space.
Yeah.
So that action is considered lawful when you attempted. But if you hunt them down and they go to Levski
Yeah.
or Grim Hex, and you kill them on the doorstep of their home,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, you're gonna have everybody at Grim Hex coming down after you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That would be the optimal evolution of the system, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh,
So definitely,
but-
I mean, like, that's how it would affect me. I would use it to my advantage when I can for missions that require it. But otherwise, I guess I might spend less time in certain open areas that are normally safe because I wouldn't be safe. Because there'll always be people coming. Sorry, Darj. There'll always be people coming to attack you and stuff.
But this actually reminds me of, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I was watching Paul. No, it was yesterday. Paul, and he accepted a bounty mission.
Mm-hmm.
And he was walking through our corp, and all of a sudden he sees the guy right across the room.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do anything because he was in an Armistice zone. However, because he accepted a public bounty,
Mm-hmm.
and his bounty was right next to him in the same room, if he at the time pulled out his gun and shot him in the head, what would happen? I mean, other than the guy falling down dead.
I
But-
guess Paul would then become a criminal and then have a bounty on his head or be killed by guards.
But it was sanctioned.
I mean, like, I'm using the word
I mean,
sanction because
it's
I use
still
the
a
word
criminal act.
yeah.
Objectively, killing someone is still a criminal act.
sanction. Yeah.
Optimally, you would want to subdue that individual, and then you take them to wherever. Which is why I think like I said, the turrets with stun abilities.
It's a good idea.
I think we should have that as personal weapons as well. Just like we have different attachments for the multi-tool. Maybe one of the attachments for the multi-tool will be stun.
Set your multi-tool to stun.
Yeah.
Oh, I mined his brains out.
Yeah, but then that wouldn't be sanctioned. So maybe if you're in a green zone, you are allowed to confront your bounty, but only in a non-fatal manner.
Yeah, I mean, so right
but
now
that
it's
would still be able. That would still vary by green zone to green zone. Maybe Hurston would be much more lax when it comes to such things.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's like down to speculation and whatnot. But
Yeah, of
it'd be
course it
kind of
is, yes.
cool if.
I mean, this is the Fortnightly Frontier. This is all we do. We speculate.
But like because right now with bounties we have the whole pro-tem bounty contract thing where you kind of like you have to do basically a bounty exam or a test to then get better bounties. I feel like maybe as we get like player guilds or NPC guilds and stuff, you would have to kind of work your way towards getting security clearance, and it wouldn't just be linked to a weapon. I mean, to a one-time mission, but linked to your reputation. And then you lose that the moment you kill somebody in cold blood like an idiot because you.
Oh yeah. So you apply for membership in an NPC bounty hunting guild, and then you progress through that, and then as you approach, as you enter a green zone, depending on what your rank as a bounty hunter is, you would get more leeway from the local security forces. Like
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that they could implement to enforce green zones would be, we have this in Levski, is just, checking your gun before you enter.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, if you are a high-ranking bounty hunter,
Then you can keep your gun.
then you could keep your gun because, you've proven to be a responsible gun owner. Or officer of the law, or a deputy, or whatever would how your classification as a bounty hunter would be.
This is my emotional support rifle.
Yeah, my emotional support Gatling gun.
I can't get nowhere without it.
Yeah, after a fire about 10,000 bullets, the warmth of the gun keeps me safe.
I can't sleep without that glow.
But yeah, that would be interesting. But I think once that's in, it'll be a high time to replace Port Olisar with a much more elaborate station.
Okay. Are you trying to segue into that stuff that also? I mean, it's not even leaked. It's just something that's happening right now within the game, within the PTU.
What is?
All right.
Oh, that. Oh, the you mean the
garbled signal
sound bites? Oh, the
Yeah.
garbled signal. I don't think that's anything to do with that. I think there's just some sort of Easter eggs, to create hype for CitizenCon.
So, do you know what the signal is saying, right?
Mm-mm. Well, there's one. It kind of alludes to a protest or an action in the PU that's going to happen, but we don't know the location and we don't know the factions involved.
Essentially, it was like you're being lied to. There's been a great injustice, and then
and great injustice is and then it cuts off. Yeah.
And people think that's leading up to Port Olisar getting destroyed or something, some crazy theory.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know why though, but that's their theory. A game theory.
A Star Citizen theory. Yeah. A star theory, maybe. All right. No. That's not what I was alluding to, because I had absolutely no idea that was even a thing up until now.
Yeah.
No, but I was thinking that Port Olisar needs a revamp, not a remodel visually, but a revamp, because it's missing the sort of checks and balances that, for instance, Levski now has.
It's not realistic, what you're saying.
No, it served the purpose when it was first introduced as a sort of launching platform that was very haphazardly slapped together. But I think once we have the updated interiors for the new truck stops, I think that they'll also replace Port Olisar with one of those.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong.
Something that has maybe like an even more evolved or a bespoke, not a randomized version, but a bespoke version of that, with a lot of landing pads and hubs on the interior.
Yeah,
because you still need the staging area that Port Olisar provides.
Yeah,
of course.
Also, I mean, like Port Olisar is missing things like a customs area, like things like Levski has a very small version of it. Hurston has a huge one, and so does Area 18. But there isn't like a unified entry place where you can then have security guards to make sure you put your guns away. And that kind of thing. It's a much more gamified element compared to everywhere else in the game right now.
It is, yes. But, it just comes with the territory of it being the first asset that we actually saw in the game. And it hasn't changed since the very first time we had the persistent universe.
I mean, it has partially. I mean, like, design-wise, they added some things that look pretty. They added some things that don't function, like the hologram box in the flight deck area. Like, there's like a hologram box that says hologram on it. There's a giant one in Area 18 that works, and there's a lady inside it. Doesn't work in Port Olisar.
Yeah. Also, it was years ago, but they showed this supposed attack by the Vandul on Port Olisar.
Yeah.
And in that one, they had holographic signs everywhere.
Yeah.
But they do have those holographic signs elsewhere.
That's true. I mean, and also that was them showing off rendered texture, and they just basically show that they can turn any plane into a screen, even if it's just a window. So.
Yeah, that's a very cool tech. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Port Olisar, though, it's actually lost functionality. They removed those gray cat boxes for changing your clothes. Those used to be there, and they used to be there for a reason. Now there's no need for it because, of course, you have that bag of holding. But once they remove the bag of holding, it's going to come back, right? It's gonna have to. How else are you gonna get your clothes around?
Yeah, which is possibly the reason why the asset is still there, and they're also everywhere else. Like there's definitely one at Grimhex.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a tangent, but yeah,
it's all a tangent, man.
Everything's tangent. There is absolutely no cohesive direction that the show operates on. It's all tangents,
like a tesseract. There is no
four-dimensional cube. Yes.
Yeah.
um,
It's not a flat 2D thing.
yeah. I mean, we do have the first vestiges of personal inventory with the MacFlex rucksack.
Yes.
There we go.
Rucksack core.
That is the correct name. MacFlex core rucksack. And yeah,
MacFlex
we have
rucksack core.
shush. But so you're only able. I mean, you can put it away and put another torso on that has one slot in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you run out of room, you can keep changing torso pieces, and filling those up a bit. And I think those take up about 10 gems, and then it's filled up.
Yeah. I really do hope there's
Instead
a
of
way to
120.
sell clothes that you already have. I mean, like, what?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's stupid.
I mean, I love the subscriber awards, but they're just clogging up my inventory, man. I
wasn't particularly thinking about that because those will increase exponentially in value over time, especially the ones that you won't get back, like the Citizen Con stuff. But I was more talking about like maybe having a bank for that kind of stuff, and then if you say bought 2 Odyssey flight suits by accident, or you had like 6 MacFlex cores, you want to get.
I mean, like every merchant in a like a dungeon crawler game or an MMO has a selling feature, has a selling function.
Yeah.
And then a buyback one.
Yeah.
But because right now you can only sell commodities that you harvest or trade for.
Yeah.
But nothing that you buy for your own personal, as your own personal belonging.
Yeah.
When do you think that's gonna make an appearance?
You're asking me a when question?
Oh yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
As my mom would say, when chickens grow teeth. Like who knows?
Has she seen a duck?
A duck is not a chicken, last I checked.
I know, but it's a very close relative. And they have teeth on their tongues.
I think geese have teeth in their throats. Birds
yeah,
are
it's all the
scary.
teeth. Yeah, I mean chickens are just dinosaurs. They used to have teeth.
They
But
used
anyway,
to, yeah.
Anyway, where were we? What are we talking about? Are we talking about armistice zones or
Chickens.
chickens?
Welcome to the Fortnightly Collectier. We're gonna talk about some chickens. We're talking
Fortnightly Frontier.
Frontier?
Yes,
I don't follow.
because fauna.
That's a stretch.
It is a bit of a stretch. Also, it's got something to do with poultry, I think. Anyway,
Tell me more about these teeth chickens. I think we found our niche in Star Citizen.
Oh yeah. We have our crotch spiders, but now we have our teeth chickens.
Teeth chickens, yeah.
Ugh.
The natural enemy of crotch spiders.
Yeah. When it comes to me, though, and I'm glad that you didn't ask me immediately, like, what is my personal?
I was going to.
You're just going to? What is my personal?
Found you.
God damn it, chat. Or at least we're a good company when it comes to puns. What's my personal stance when it comes to these things? So, like, I'm never usually the one to troll people just for the sake of it. Like, as soon as we get the ability to either punch or shank someone, I'm not gonna go, running around and doing that people just because I wouldn't want that done to me.
Right.
And, that's enough of a deterrent for me to not being a total dick.
Do unto others as you would want done on yourself. I feel like for you and I and just your everyday Star Citizen, it's not really going to play much of a factor. It's not really going to mean much as long as, there isn't some dickbag like organization coming through just to say, we're taking over Port Olisar for a few minutes or whatever. and you get caught in the crossfire and it's historic, and then they're not allowed there for like 2 days because their crime stats too high. But I feel like it's gonna be an issue for, and these are it's very very small subset of the community, but it's gonna be a huge issue for, say, streamers. Let's say Lyric, who like had like 40,000 people watching him play yesterday, was in Port Olisar. The amount of people that are going to want to shoot him in the face just because there are 40,000 people watching.
It's going to be a maximum of 49.
I mean,
I'm not wrong, am I?
You're not wrong.
Well, no, have the ability to shoot him, but wanting to shoot him, that's a bit of a different thing.
I mean, once I got raided by Star Citizen, and like this was like 3 years ago when they did that. I got raided by Star Citizen like after like a happy hour, and I was the moment I left like Port Olisar, I get blown up. So I feel like it's a very strong thing that they definitely need to work on, how to prevent that kind of thing, or at least how to punish people who do it.
Right. One thing I don't want them to do is make the green zone also a quantum interdiction zone.
Right.
So, because you would be, like you said, if you were a very high profile, not say target, but a high profile player, you would have people on your tail all the time.
Yeah.
So they would be waiting for you at the edge of the green zone. But if the green zone also prevents you from quanting out, then that kind of tips the balance in their favor.
Right.
So you would need to, as soon as you're able to take off, you would be able to quantum travel out of there.
Right.
At least that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, right now in Port Olisar, you can quantum travel like right next to the pads.
You can. However, if you're on a moon or a planet, you have to get out of Atmo first.
True.
And you get out of the Armistice zone a lot sooner than you get out of Atmo.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That is a sort of natural barrier, but I'm just against sort of extending that with artificial barriers. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so it's not only streamers that have to worry about the Armistice zone like dropping and turning to greens, but like just prolific members of the community in general. Like, let's say that Montoya is in Port Olisar and people know about it. There are going to be people who are going to want to like ruin Montoya's day. But also, like, because of the way, people get organized all the time. Let's say that the punishment for killing somebody in a green zone is a 24-hour ban from Port Olisar. That might be like something that happens, but that's only a punishment for one person. Now, let's say Montoya gets killed by that one person, wakes up in bed, and then steps out again. Their guildmate could be standing there with a pistol ready to take him out as well. And then there might be a line of 48 other people going down the stairs, all waiting their turn to kill Montoya.
See, so has to be a way for a player on foot to find out what the identity of another player is without, adding them to contacts or whatever the current system is. Remember, like a couple of years ago, everybody's name tag floated above their heads, regardless of their affiliation. There needs to be a way to find that out. And 2, there needs to be a way to spoof that, both on foot and on a ship.
Okay.
And I think something like that was talked about already, for ships at least.
Yeah, you
were able to buy an IFF spoofing device. So you're able to change both, like you can scan a ship right now and it will tell you the life signs, the cargo, the owner, the occupants, and the name. Okay, we don't have the name of the ship right now, but I'm so looking forward to that. But the type of ship. And in Discordant 42, something that I, it's going to do vertical slice, which is something that completely skipped my mind until now. They already had that.
Okay.
You remember when they approached that final planet and had to fight off a couple of guys before they found the Avenger.
Right.
Before that, they scanned a ship, and it had a very dodgy fake ID.
Right.
Because, the pilot was supposed to be like this 150-year-old woman who had died 30 years ago.
Right. Okay.
So at least from a story point of view, we have that or in the game,
Mm-hmm.
if not technically yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of different ways they could do it, like from a diegetic kind of like perspective, like
Would definitely need to be a component.
because let's say that Montoya has created a character. We're going to be using Montoya as an example because they're in chat. Congratulations once again for 10,000 main members in Test Squadron. But yeah, so like let's say that he
glorious leader,
praise
be upon him.
But like let's say that they've made their character, they do like like this week in Test Squadron, for instance, they have videos where they show their character's face, like in using FOIP or whatever. And if they're not wearing a helmet and they're in Port Olisar, it doesn't matter if they have like somebody else's name there. If they look exactly like Montoya, that's going to be probable cause for somebody to try and grief him. So,
and that is where he will have to, take a step back and realize that dressing in black and yellow all the time may not be the sanest solution.
Right.
But if he doesn't do that, it's his fault.
Right, but I mean, I'm just thinking, right? Like, stay with me on this one. So, like, let's say that without a helmet, he looks like Montoya. It's Montoya. Maybe it even says Montoya over his head. But if he's wearing a helmet and it's got a clear face, same deal. What if he can tint his faceplate so you can't see his face?
Or have one of those holographic
Or
ones.
have one of the holographic ones, or have the new Mantis helmet that doesn't show your face. Or you wear one of the slaver helmets.
What's that movie with Keanu Reeves where he was wearing
The Matrix?
this suit? No, he was. It's an animated one, rotoscoped and everything, and he was wearing a suit that was like a projection suit that kept changing his appearance, so he wouldn't be able to be identified neither by people nor by like computers with
Ready Player
CCTV.
One?
I'm sure people watching this will know the movie I'm talking about, but that sort of tech, like instead of having, we saw the skull hologram as a concept. How about have a hologram that just basically slightly alters your face every 5 seconds?
True, but I mean, if somebody's looking to kill somebody and they're wearing like, I guess if everybody's wearing it, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, but we'll see. We'll see when that. I guess we'll cross that when we get there. I guess. Johnny Mnemonic?
No, it was definitely not Johnny Mnemonic. Hold on, I'm gonna grab my phone now, and I'm going to Google this.
While we wait for Darjanator, did you know that, guys, if you use Amazon Prime...
Scanner Darkly.
Scanner Darkly, okay.
A very good movie. It's I recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it, and especially, you know what? I'm going to add it to the movie night list.
All right.
All right. All right. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. A way for Montoya to get away from his would-be assassins.
Too late. We're on a list now.
Oh, there's a good one. Everybody in Test Squadron make their face look like Montoya.
Huh. That's fair. Although I don't want to.
Yeah.
Congratulations and welcome to Test Squadron. So as your first day,
no, just his personal royal guard. Everybody looks exactly like him. However, how do you then know who is the real Montoya?
He'll say, "Hello, I'm Montoya, you idiot," and then like it's him because no one else sounds like Montoya.
But what's there to stop a very greedy or entrepreneurial bodyguard from taking his place as the de facto leader of the squadron. Arrest or ensnare Montoya and trap him in a cave, and then take his position. Imagine what the state of the squadron video is going to be like then.
From a cave or
from a cave, yeah.
Anyway, I guess we'll have to worry about that once player arrests become a thing, I suppose.
But yeah, losing the Armistice zone is going to be a big change, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've been in the game ever since we had the Persistent Universe button.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna miss them, but at the same time, I think I will once I get ganked a few times.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking that for advanced weaponry, like the green zones are in certain locations, will still have sort of like half appearance of an Armistice zone. Like if you have a weapon by a certain manufacturer that has signed a contract to abide by green zones, no matter what you do with that weapon, you can brandish it, you can put it somewhere, you can press the trigger, but because the weapon knows it's in a green zone, it's not going to fire.
Right. I mean, that brings us back to the quantum interdiction devices. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So maybe like overpowered weapons will do the same thing. It's likely, but I don't think it'll be an everyday occurrence, only for like really game-breaking weapons.
Like the Mantis.
Like the Mantis, yeah. All right. Anyway, we're now over the 1 hour mark. I think it's probably time
we're approaching that. Yes, we are.
Probably time to wrap things up.
We could do, yeah. We've babbled quite a bit. We didn't get any closer to a working solution because we're basically just people talking about the game instead of developing it. But yeah,
true.
Anyway,
highly constructive evening, but
hey, it's fun.
It is fun,
and that's the thing that matters the most about the game. Is it fun? And I think it is. Definitely. It's getting more fun. It's getting more fun with every patch. 3.7. I've been playing 3.7 quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely one of the stronger patches. But again, all the patches that we get more content are the stronger patches,
It's like it's actually being developed into a real game.
It's like they're developing the game full stop. Can you imagine the day that a patch comes out, like a quarterly patch comes out that's worse than the previous patch?
It'll be No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening, at least not for a long time.
Then again, we did have 3.6 with hover mode.
That wasn't bad. That was just them playing around.
It was not implemented properly. I could go into quite a long discussion about all the positives and negatives of hover mode as it could be and hover mode as it was.
Look, okay, I'm gonna stop you there. Okay, hover mode did not get a chance to flourish. Okay, we're in alpha development. Hover mode did not get a patch to iterate on itself. They just said, okay, people are getting really mad now. And they took it around the back of Port Olisar and shot it with their size 4 laser. And then now we have the other thing. Yeah, it didn't have enough time to flourish.
That was a size 4 attrition straight to the back of the head.
But it has been an amazing patch so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with this attrition, with this green zone thing as and when it does happen. It's gonna change the game.
Do you think we'll see it in 3.8?
I don't know. Honestly, it'd be pretty interesting, and it's one of those things that is so extreme in terms of changing like the way the game works that it could be a CitizenCon announcement for all we know. All I do know is that it's gonna change the game, maybe for the good, but also for the worse, because of course we have free flies, where people who have no vested interest in the game are gonna just come in, no ship, pistols out, and then just go mad. I see that happening.
Right.
It's inevitable.
Also, speaking of CitizenCon, it's just 2 episodes away.
That's 4 weeks away. Don't make it sound like
Yeah.
it's closer than it is. I'm not ready.
Yes. We'll have another episode on the 4th November and one episode on the 18th November, which is 2 days before I fly out to Manchester. And then, hopefully, we'll have an episode not following the schedule and have it on the 25th on Monday. Unless I'm flying back out. We'll have to see how our schedules are. But yes, CitizenCon is fast approaching. I am very excited. Are you, Myre?
I'm very looking forward to it.
They've been a blast. Ever since the lesson learned of the Los Angeles CitizenCon. They've all been a blast, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be even more so.
The last one was very theme parky, but in a great way. And if they can keep that up, and
they have a lot bigger venue to spread the theme park out this time around.
Yeah.
So it may feel like it's even more of a theme park, but it's more suited to it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Vivi with the contradiction in there. Every CitizenCon is cringier than the last. I mean,
I live for cringe then.
Merry Cringemas, one and all.
It is actually quite close to Christmas, yes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, about a month away. Anyway, yes, I think it's time to wrap up this show. It's approaching 1 hour, if it hasn't passed it already.
1 hour and
since
5 minutes.
you did, well, it's 1 hour and 5 minutes of the recording, but we did go live a few minutes afterwards. Anyway, since you did the intro, I'm gonna actually let you do the outro. Off you go.
Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in the next installment of the Fortnightly Frontier. Once again, thank you to everybody watching live on Twitch TV. We couldn't do this without you. And also thank you so much for people listening on Spotify, all the other podcast formats, and also watching on YouTube. Until next time, we'll see you in the verse.